Hello to all my cancers out there and welcome to my channel, Roseology. I hope this video finds you in amazing spirits. Thank you for visiting me. So this video is for all my cancers, that is Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And in this reading, we're going to be checking out the energetic forecast for the month of June. So we're going to be covering finances, career, love, family, the challenges, overall energy, and a message for the month. Now, I think it's important to remember that this is a general reading for all my cancers out there. So to get the most out of this reading, it's important for you to be intuitively connected so you can discern which parts of the message are specifically for you. So it'll be like we're kind of doing this reading together in a sense. And to help you guys access your own intuitive and psychic headspace, I'm going to offer a 20-second meditation. So go on ahead, get relaxed, get comfortable, get into a nice calm space, and we'll start this 20-second meditation right now. All right, so hopefully that 20-second meditation was enough time for you guys to get intuitively synced in. If not, feel free to pause this video. Don't forget to check out your Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos as well that I've linked down below for you guys in the description box so you can have an even more detailed overview of the month. So if you want to be fully equipped for the month of June and really get the best of June's ass, you can head to the description box for all of those links down below. But again, thank you guys so much for visiting me. This means the moon to me. Now, without further ado, let's get into this reading. All right, so the very first card that we have here for my Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus is the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords and the Hanged Man, Divine Wisdom, Seven of Wands, Five of Wands, and Strength. I love this card from this particular tarot deck. So it looks like for some of my cancers out there that you may have been waiting to get paid for something. And I see that happening this month with this card. I also see money coming from surprising or unexpected places for the month of June. Maybe even from places that you've probably forgotten about that maybe owed you, or it's just going to be like really random things. Like maybe you accidentally paid too much in like your water bill or something, so they mail you some money back, or something like that they've been holding on to for a couple of months. Just really random. I'm not actually saying that was just an example, but just like really unexpected places. And for a few of you, I'm seeing help from somewhere or someone in your life as well. So maybe like a family member that you never expected, or a friend or something like that, or maybe people that you normally don't ask for help, or you normally wouldn't ask for help. I see them actually coming through and helping some of my cancers. Moving on to the second card here with the Ace of Swords, and this is the card concerning the career, your career for the month of June. And with this Ace of Swords, like this is a very powerful card for me. I don't know why, but this card, like it feels very intense for me. Like with this, the way that the sword is pointing, feels like it's kind of pointing at me or towards me. And so the feeling that I'm getting with this very strongly is for some of my cancers, maybe you guys had an idea or something that you may have recently come up with. Maybe you're trying to get a project or something off of the ground, maybe a business or something, some sort of idea, something that maybe you even wanted to take an idea to your boss or something like that. But what I'm seeing for the month of June is it seems like the plans may fall through with this idea that you really kind of put a lot into. And it doesn't necessarily mean to give up on them. It doesn't mean that the plan is not going to work. It doesn't mean this project isn't going to work. It doesn't mean to just completely like give up on this idea. This idea or project just might simply need some sort of restructuring. So meticulously really comb over every little detail if this project means that much to you, because I'm not necessarily seeing it fail. It almost looks like for some of you, you kind of maybe started something recently, and because it's in that kind of early developmental stage, there's still some bumps and humps in the road, and it's just a few technicalities that I kind of feel like is going to get in the way for June. But I wouldn't say to give up on it. If you truly believe in this and want to see it through, go through with it. Don't give up on it. Just kind of revise it a little bit. And with this third card over here, this is the card of love, and this is the Hanged Man in reverse. So the thing that I heard very clearly with this Hanged Man in reverse is to don't be so stubborn. To my cancers, give in a little every now and again. There is more than one way to make things work. And I just feel like some of my cancer some of my cancers have kind of like one idea about how things should be. And if it's not that way, then you kind of resist or withhold parts of yourself because things aren't going your way. So it's really important for the month of June to just be open to other ideas, opinions, mindsets, advice, because if not, you could really risk emotionally pushing your partner away. And it's just surrender every now and then. Don't lose your integrity or individuality, but don't lose your partner over my side versus their side either. It's just really important to decide if your stance or point of view is priority over your relationship. This is going to be really important. But, if you're just so stubborn that it's like you can't let go of your point of view or something like that, be very careful with that, because it could have like potential issues for your relationship. So with the very next card over here, Divine Wisdom, and this is dealing with family for the month of June. And so what I was seeing with my cancers was, again, I just see you refusing and rejecting any sort of advice or view or an opinion that doesn't look or sound like your own. And this may actually be a really good thing for some of my cancers that really need to kind of step into their own power, step into their own individuality, basically. But with this being in reverse, it feels very stubborn. It feels very rigid. It feels like no one can talk you out of your own head and ideas. It just feels slightly imbalanced. So like you may have your own legit reasons for not listening or taking anyone's advice into consideration, but just because you're receptive to advice doesn't mean that you have to necessarily follow it. So don't look at like receiving or being receptive or being open to advice as you surrendering and laying down. And don't look at it in that way. Look at it in a way where it's just like, I'm just being receptive. I'm open to hearing ideas. Hey, who knows, I might hear an even better idea, so be open to it, but don't necessarily like adopt this feeling of like, oh, now I'm surrendering. Now I have to give up my own individuality, my own views, my own opinions. I have to give up a part of myself just because I'm receptive and open to other ideas that don't look or sound like mine. And then moving on over here to the Seven of Wands. And now the Seven of Wands is dealing with the challenges for the month. The challenge for the month for many of my cancers is going to be not feeling attacked by everyone, seeing the difference between an attack versus advice and support. Now, we've all been guilty of feeling attacked when that wasn't the case, when a person wasn't even trying to attack us, they were actually trying to help us, but for whatever reason, we may have perceived it as an attack, right? So we're all guilty of that. And it can be easy to cross those lines, especially if you're receiving advice from people whose intentions are questionable or you are not sure of. So this card over here, the Seven of Wands, can also beg the question, do you trust the people around you? If not, why not? And why are you allowing people into your divine space that you can't trust? Of course, you're going to feel on guard if you can't trust the people around you. But you have to decide, like, is this because I just don't know their motives and their intentions? Or is this just simply a case of like, I don't like your advice, or your advice feels abrasive because it's not what I wanted to hear? It's just a lot to think about with this. So be really clear about exactly why it is that you're kind of feeling the way it is that you're feeling for the month of June. And then with the Five of Wands in reverse over here, this is revealing the overall energy for the month. And for the overall energy for the month for my cancers, I'm feeling is like kind of conflict and combativeness. But get this, you guys, it's all internal. Like basically my cancers are fighting it's like you're fighting others, like whether their intentions are pure or not, because of certain triggers being stimulated within your own self. So basically, I feel as though some of you may be combative for the month of June because you're trying to protect a sacred part of yourself that feels vulnerable and it feels threatened. And this is the only way you know how to protect yourself, is to go into like defense mode. And it's to kind of like crab up, almost, just like the crab, just like how you are, just retreat into your shell and put the claws up. And it's like, just make sure you're attacking the actual issue at hand and not innocent bystanders, okay? Because it's going to be really important to make sure you're not pushing away people that are actually trying to help you. And just know that at the end of the day, you don't have to fight to protect anything, because you're kind of hurting yourself in the process, All right. And then the very last card over here that we have, Strength. I absolutely love this card in this deck. This card is all about the message for the month. And I got a lot for my Cancers, basically. So what I got was for my Cancers is to show your resolve and your resilience in a different manner or in a different way. Like what I feel is happening with many of my Cancers is you're feeling as though people are trying to control or impose themselves onto you. And it makes you want to kind of like roar, just like this lion over here in the Strength card. Like it makes you want to roar, but you can show your strength and your independence and your own stance by believing what you believe and doing what you want to do without responding to every opinion. Just live your life and don't worry about anyone else. You know what I mean? Like when you quit feeding into others' opinions, they're going to become very, very, very quiet because they will see that you've stopped responding and feeding into their energy and their opinions and what they say. They're not going to be able to argue with themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like, just like how in this Strength card right here, it looks like she's like counting to 10 before responding, or it looks like she's just simply biting her tongue altogether and choosing not to even like entertain the BS. And that's what I'm seeing for my Cancers. It's like really the message for the month is to like kind of try biting your tongue or just kind of counting to 10 and saying like, you know what, is this even worth my time and my energy? Because I guarantee you'll get back to living your life without the hassle and the strength, or without the hassle and the stress that your loved one's opinions kind of cause for you. So let's go on ahead and get to you guys' oracle cards to see what it is that we're seeing here. The very first one that we have is Oyster. And that's interesting. It's just like the shell over here, just like the crab, right? And basically with Oyster, it's all about withdrawing or protecting, feeling the need to protect your deepest desires and your life's work, just like I was saying over here with the tarot cards. You've been desperately trying to protect something that's very near and dear to you. And this card appears when it's time to basically share your innermost treasures. Like, what have you been waiting to share? What do you want to share? What is it that you feel like you need to protect? The feeling that I'm getting is like there's something that you guys really want to do, but you're worried about everybody else's opinions. You're worried if people are going to reject it or think it's stupid or not agree with it. Don't worry about everyone else. Does it make sense to you? All right, well, you do what it is that makes sense to you. Don't try to have everybody, believing in your dream and accepting your dream. And you know what I mean? Like, it's your dream for a reason. It was given to you for a reason. Other people don't have to agree with it. They'll agree with it when they see how successful you are and the moves it is that you're making. That's when they'll see it, So let your work and let your dreams speak for themselves. Let them fight for themselves. You don't have to protect anything. The very next card that we have here, Nirvana Quartz. And Nirvana Quartz is a crystal that deals with the sign Pisces. It really talks about stepping off the karmic round and allowing the karma of grace to manifest. So kind of stepping off of this merry-go-round where, like I was saying, like it's almost like the more you feed into their opinions and the more you feed into their energy, whether it's negative or positive, the more it keeps coming back for more. You know what I mean? So it's like, get off the merry-go-round. By you feeding into this combative energy, it knows exactly where to come back for more because it already knows that you're going to give into it. So be aware of that, because when you're aware of that, it won't have power over you anymore. It won't have control over you anymore. You know what I mean? The very next card that we have here is Time to Go. And what I'm getting with Time to Go is like, stop responding, walk away. Don't give in to any of this energy down here. If it's negative, if it's combative, if it's stressful for you, do not give into it. But make sure that you are clearly seeing the difference between combative energy or a combative opinion and somebody that's just trying to give constructive advice or constructive criticism. You know what I mean? So make sure that you know the difference. And the very last three cards that we have here is Vanity, Instinct, and Service. All right, so the one thing that I'm seeing with Vanity over here is basically don't worry about what it is that you look like. Like, don't worry about what it is that others think of you. Detach yourself from others' opinions of you. And with the Instinct card, I'm getting that it's very natural for you to care about what these certain individuals think, but you're no longer in service to them. You're no longer in service to these individuals anymore. Like, you are in service to yourself now, and you need to make that commitment to yourself. Like today, like, to relinquish the need to have certain people see you in a certain way or in a certain light, just like this Hanged Man over here. That's a responsibility that you don't need to claim or carry, because just like this Hanged Man, where with the Hanged Man I was getting, you need your partner to see things in the way that you see things, or you need your partner to do things in the way that you do things, even if you're single. That might be why you kind of find like yourself like, oh, I'm really not feeling this person, or I'm really not feeling this relationship anymore, because maybe they weren't receptive enough to you and what it is that you wanted. It's about really relinquishing the need to feel as though you have to control how people see you. You don't need your partner to agree with you and see things in your way and see things and do things in your way. You know what I mean? Just like you don't need your family or your friends or the people surrounding you to see things your way, to understand your dreams and understand your visions. Like I said, they are your dreams. They were given to you, specifically you, for a reason, not to anyone else. And like I said, they'll get it when you make it, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't worry about it until then, because you're really just kind of burning yourself out here with this kind of stress and anxiety of, God, why can't they just see it? Don't worry about making them see it. Don't worry about making anybody see anything. Relinquish the need to make people see anything, because it's a responsibility that you're taking, and it's a responsibility that you don't need to claim or carry. And anytime we carry a responsibility that we don't need, it becomes a burden. And so, commit to yourself right now, today, that you're not going to do that anymore, that you're going to live a life where you're free and you're happy and you are living your own life, and you're not worried about the next person's opinion. You're not worried about what it is that they're thinking or how it is that they see things. Who cares? Let them feel what they feel. If their intentions are pure or not, it will reveal themselves to you in due time. So that's not something that you have to worry about either. This is all that I'm saying for my Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. Hopefully you guys decide to come back and visit me sometime soon. But I do hope that this reading brought you guys some more clarity and some strength and support for the month of June. You guys are going to be okay. You guys are going to get through this. Don't forget to also check out your Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. If you haven't already, I've linked them down below. And I'll be back next time, okay? Bye, guys.